Welcome back to my casting. My name is Acrillus. Today I'll be casting one of the winners bracket matches in round one between LGD and Mineski. My name is Acrillus. Again, if I haven't already mentioned it, I'm a little tired, but we're gonna see how things shape out for this second game here of this best of three. Hopefully, we're gonna see a better game out of Mineski, who had a pretty decent showing in that early game. Unfortunately, LGD taking that tempo and really stepping the gas pedal when they needed to, and generating a pretty huge advantage towards the end of the game. They're really just ramping up as much as they can, finding the weaknesses in Mineski's strategy, and kind of taking advantage of those as much as they could. It was a very well thought out execution by LGD. Um, they've used the same lane combos and stuff they have before, but we'll see how Mineski decides to adapt as we do proceed into the first wave of bans. It's probably going to be pretty typical. I think for sure we're going to see a Chen ban out from one of the two teams here as the Razor ban comes out almost immediately from Mineski. Was also banned out last game just to respect to that mid lane presence. I think XM probably being one of the better Razor players I think in this tournament. I would assume if the ban is out of respect for him. I believe it was banned out from Mineski last round, but it could also have been LGD. Not too sure. I have short-term memory. That memory. I have short-term memory. Not bad pronunciation. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be doing trying to cast all of the winners bracket games. Not saying that there's any bad games in the losers bracket, but I just trying to take like a group of games and try to go through that whole block of them and see if I can, commit to doing that as like a side project for me. So hopefully things work out well. I'll probably publish everything all in one go. But if you guys would like to support me, I appreciate all of you guys have. As we look at the next couple of bands, does look at so the Chen band actually did come out. Next band out was Bane. Pretty typical. Good early game support. That spell piercing Fiend's Grip is really nice, especially since Enfeeble extends the duration of that to like I think almost upwards of like 6 or 7 seconds. Um, Nature's Prophet being response band to that. Also a good early game support. Really, I wouldn't say necessarily a counter to Bane, but like a good opponent to Bane in the lane. So with the absence of the Bane, the ADP ban is both a sound choice in pretty much any situation in this meta, since it is a strong support pick, but also a good matchup against the Bane. Slaughter ban also coming out as the kind of ban to deny, maybe bait out that Lifestealer ban from LGD that they did last game. So Slaughter being a very good character against the Lifestealer. LGD kind of really deciding on whether or not they want to give up the Lifestealer ban and have Mineski pretty much almost guarantee that they're going to pick it up as his first pick. I think that's what they're deliberating on. As always, we can't always be sure, or we can't be absolutely sure. It's just a hypothesis, a game hypothesis. But yeah, they are using a good amount of the reserve time, so they do seem to be a little bit confused about what they need to do here as the Winter Wyvern ban actually does come out. So all the bans pretty much denying out a good or pretty much setting up a good lifestealer pick, I think, overall. You really don't have anything to contest it. But Mineski have opted for that first pick, Pangolier, seeing it and identifying it as the more important pick. Rolling Thunder really being a very good team fighting tool. Um, Probably one of the most influential early game team fighting ultimates, I would say, personally. If well executed, you could pretty much just like stun lock an entire team. Take a look as the first pick out from LGD is Magnus. Interesting. So, LGD going to be taking a slightly different approach to this game, I think. Instead opting for a little bit of a later game scenario. Yep. Aiming for that early game presence with the Magnus, using that skewer together with the, I believe it's the Shockwave, to kind of facilitate as an early game support. But the biggest key player in these two picks by LGD here is going to be that Empower, the buff, allowing Magnus's target to gain both extra damage on their right click as well as like a 20% cleave, I believe, at level 1. So super potent spell. really nice. And Magnus doesn't really need the levels invested in anything else if he's a support. Like really, you're only using him for the utility and the power. So, and power should get maxed and should be a very efficient tool, allowing Phantom Assassin to pick up on stacked jungle camps, push out waves, pretty much maximize his gold efficiency and farming as early as possible. The response pick going to be from Mineski, a Leshrac pick in the offlane. So an overall good pick. Has both elements of setup. So, I mean, you get one stun, and Leshrac Split Earth is a 2-second stun that's guaranteed. Has really high base early damage. So you have that as a really good laning tool. But Leshrac also does have that Diabolic Edict, which is also a good pushing tool. Enables him to push down towers at a pretty rapid pace, I'd say, for most characters in the game. So he's always a good split pushing threat, which has been like kind of a side. It's been a pretty good large element of team compositions in in the recent meta. So it's a very overall very popular pick. We'll see what the next pick, or actually the next ban out, is from LGD. As the first ban from Mineski in the second wave is going to be that Puck ban, locking out a mid lane pick relatively early on, as with the Razor pick, as the Sven ban out from LGD, kind of fearing that. I think they're fearing the Sven carry. They're fearing options in the late game that are going to be better than the Phantom Assassin. Um, with like at a similarly timed power spike, and the really only character that's can achieve that is someone who also has cleave, or an easy way to clear out like large amounts of minions, which would be something like an alchemist or Sven. So Sven pretty similar in like timing on their power spikes. Like so when PA gets 6 and when Sven gets 6, that's pretty much when they can start like really fighting, but mostly using it to farm. So Sven would have used God Strength in the first couple minutes to pick up like camps and stacks when he gets his level 6, but that's not going to be the case this game, and LGD pretty justified in taking it out of the equation. The respect ban out from Mineski on that death prophet going to be targeting another mid lane pick, so we should be seeing a mid lane pick out from LGD or Mineski in the next wave of picks. Probably going to be that offlane pick is going to be saved for last for LGD. And not sure what Mineski are gonna save for. Probably that safe lane pick. Yeah, they're probably gonna have that hard carry pick as last because they wanna set up a good team composition for something that's gonna be a little more late game because they have a pretty standard comp. The Pangolier and Leshrac, probably two of the most popular heroes in this tournament's matches. As an Ember Spirit ban, a similar respect ban out to Ashit. Um, it is also a flex ban, and Ember could be picked out both mid and safe lane. It was picked out safe lane last game, but can't really be too sure with the scenarios. But can't really be too sure which one it would be in this case. I think LGD are just concerned about that early that power spike that Ember has, where like he has the ability to all in with Searing Chains and Flame Guard relatively early. Um, Together with a Leshrac, Split Earth, or something like that, pretty much guarantees a kill. So that the runs from, or really the all-ins from Member Spirit would be very dangerous. Next pick out's going to be Vengeful Spirit. I have seen this played in a multitude of positions. I've seen it be position 3, position 4, seen it be position 2, for God's sakes, but I think this is going to be position 4. It has potential to be position 3, but I don't think it's going to go mid. I think it's just a good kind of default pick. I think I think Venge mid is playable against most characters that don't pressure you. So things like a Shadow Fiend would be dangerous. Other mid lane, there's a lot of heroes that could gimp Vengeful Spirit, so that's probably gonna go off lane. And the response to that is an Elder Titan. That's probably gonna be the position 5 pick, I think. I don't know, but those are gonna be your two supports and your offlaner for Mineski there. One of those is going to be your offlaner. It's probably going to be Leshrac or Pango. I'm thinking it's Leshrac. Pango going to be 4 and Elder Titan probably going to be 5. So the Elder Titan's a good choice. Kind of an easy way to get that early game aggression and pressure early in lanes. So That's going to be another tool I think that they're going to use to ensure that their carry gets farmed. So I think Mineski, with this pick, I've kind of leaned towards a late game carry, which I think they're going to need, but it's going to be hard to find a carry with the right timing. Like you don't want to carry, you don't want a carry that's going to hit his farming item when PA has already gotten empowered and like cleared out like a whole stack of jungle camps across like 3 camps and has already picked up like his second item, you know? You don't want to be in that position, so you want to find something that has like a decently early kind of like gold item spike, or be able to claim farm quickly. So in these cases, a Terror Blade might be an option,
Dire
but they
team's
really
turn
want
to pick.
something that doesn't get
Bounty hunter.
pressured. Yeah, they want something that's not going to lose really hard in lane, so it's really confusing. Not sure what you're going to pick up here, but Vengeful Spirit and Bounty Hunter as an offlane combo is going to be pretty potent against whatever Mineski have to offer, even with that other Titan. You know, the Bounty Hunter pick I don't like per se
10
as an
seconds
offlaner.
remaining.
I think the fact that Janata steals gold is really cool and
5 seconds
allows it to be
remaining.
in the offlane since he doesn't have really much sustain and
Radiant
any
team
way
ban.
to kind of just generate gold other than hitting Janata every now and then. As a Morphling comes out, so yeah, that's another safe lane pick that wasn't banned out. It was banned in the last game, so I should have been more aware of it. But Morphling is like one of those safe lane carries that can pick up on farm if he needs to, but is more
10 seconds
centered
left.
towards
Beside it.
having lane presence. So Mineski
5
looks like
seconds remaining.
they've departed from. Okay, so the approach was
Dire team's
pretty
turn to
standard
ban.
comp, but we kind of want something to deal with that PA problem that we have. So not many people are going to fit the bill, so Morphling with the early game pressure and power spike is going to be faster than PA, so he's going to have a lot more kill potential early on if things go well. And we'll see that happen and manifest in the laning phase, hopefully. But it's going to be hard lane
10
for
seconds
LGD's off
remaining.
lane, I think. The Bounty Hunter is going to get pressured a lot, which is going to be really difficult
5
to get out
seconds
of.
remaining.
Next wave of bans though going to be the Enigma for LGD. Looks like LGD are kind of fearing that team fighting element that Mineski have built up with the Leshrac, the Elder Titan, and the Pangolier. Can't really afford to have much more team fight with a hard carry that kind of operates by himself, I guess in a way. Morphling as a character is pretty proficient, you know, doing things by himself. He can kill people, he can kite people, do those things relatively easier than a lot of other heroes can, but we'll see how things go. Mineski using their time up for the reserve time for this last ban. It's probably going to be the mid lane ban. I doubt it'll be a vengeful mid since Mineski haven't revealed their mid laner either. It'd be a very bold choice, but first mid lane pick is going to go out. Their first pick is going to go out to Mineski, so they're going to have to reveal their mid laner first. So they're probably deciding both what they're going to pick here and what they're going to ban. So they're probably figuring out what the best thing is against their team and then what the best option to counter that would be and banning that. So we'll see and kind of just make a conjecture if we have the time to
Dire
on what
team's
would
turn
be
to pick.
a good ban. As the SF ban has
Radiant
come
team's
out,
turn to
so
pick.
probably OD. Oh, Viper. Yeah, pretty standard. Mineski's team composition looking a lot more typical of this meta than last time's composition. LGD is kind of still the same. A lot of heroes that are very prominent in this meta, so expect nothing less. But a pretty good choice out from
10
MHD
seconds
here.
remaining.
Not really sure what they should pick since they do have the Razor banned out.
5
Mineski
seconds
were kind of
remaining.
setting up for this mid lane pick the whole draft, I think. Kind of expecting Viper to be their go-to and really not much having anything else to do. LGD kind of in a bind here, really looking for what they need. It's going to be the
Choose your
Pug
hero.
now from LGD, as that is going to be claimed by XM in the mid lane, so yeah. Wow. Okay, so Xnova, Taylor, Xnova is actually going to be the Vengeful Spirit. Chalice is going to be the Bounty Hunter, which means FY is going to be the Magnus. It's going to be position 4 Magnus. So, okay, yeah. So they're going to use the Magnus for the laning, kind of make the Bounty Hunter more potent, I think, maybe? Or they might put the Venge. we'll see how things go. FY probably going to be the more proficient Magnus, but we'll see if he plays it together with the safe lane or in the off lane. Looks like the lane distribution is going to be pretty typical from Mineski. No, 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 no. Wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Hold the phone here. We have a mid lane Pangolier. We have a mid lane Pangolier. This is big news. So I don't want to make assumptions here. I'm gonna make an educated guess and think that Mineski kind of masqueraded it as not the mid lane pick, I guess, and wanted that option for the Pangolier and wanted to run offlane Viper, I guess. But we'll see how it works out. I'm not too sure about this pick overall. I think Pangolier can do well against Pugna, but the Decrepify, no. I think Pangolier is a decent choice against Pugna. Swashbuckle is really good pressure. If he had still silence with a lucky shot, you can't really get, any retaliation from him. And the Decrepify doesn't like stop you from doing anything, so I think it should be a decent pick overall. If he gets unlucky and doesn't get a lucky shot or something when he's getting life drained, then maybe not, but I think the mid lane
Prepare for
Pango should work
battle.
out pretty well as Pilot are gonna be trying to hand out those tangos over to Moon. Looks like a pretty typical start, but yeah, like I said, I'm a little confused. Graphs sometimes are very confusing, especially with their intentions and their picks. FY kind of just faking out that he planted the ward here. Might see a sentry out to try and deny it, but both teams are probably just gonna get a ward mid regardless. Bebby looking for that early sentry ward to deny that cam spawn. Looks like he's... Yeah, looks like they're in a position to try and prevent them from pulling camps, which means they want to maintain lane pressure. So they think that Viper is going to be a good option to pressure with
30
that Leshrac.
seconds to battle.
It does look like, yep, Palai is going to be down there bottom. Is Chalice going to be with Xnova, or is he going to be with FY? Looks like Xnova's going to be with Ame, which means that FY, yep. So they're doing their original lane assignments. That Magnus going to be the position 4. Looks like kind of more of a roaming Magnus with those boots tangos combo. Does have skewers, so we might be looking for a little bit of aggression here, as they do have 3 people on this bounty rune. Febby going to be pressured off of it.
This
KP
ain't
going
no
to be on the
snowball
side, might
fight.
be able to actually pick it up. The trade actually goes out. KP does manage to claim it. Skewer goes down. Another Toxin to try and disable, to try and slow things down, but KP, yeah, he's in trouble here. The Stifling Dagger going to hold him long enough for the right clicks to come out. FY going to be able to claim first blood. A little bit of fighting out from Chalice and Pilot Die here, but I think Pilot Die wins that. I think Elder Sign is really strong. The right click's going to be good. Doesn't look like Mineski were expecting FFI to be there. No, they should have, because they saw him mid. They probably just didn't expect to get punished like that, I think. But overall, yep. It's what I expected. Chalice with that bounty hunter pick should get bullied out relatively early by Pele dying. Oh shoot, here. The Morphling and Ellertine being both really pretty proficient heroes around level 3 or 4. So once they get to that point, it'll depend on whether or not Mineski are confident enough and want to make that investment in detection with the with the dust or the sentry ward. We'll see if they decide to make that commitment if they're confident in killing him. But that's going to be the deciding factor on that. Xnova TPing in, actually looking for Febby. Febby does manage to pull the mid wave away. Just try to TP out, but looks like, oh my gosh, Xnova unfortunately doesn't get that magic missile off in time. Febby's going to be able to get out. Mission accomplished. Does manage to pull that minion wave all the way over to that side. So a large minion wave coming down the safe lane of LGD. Mineski, I guess, trying to attempt that in advance? I don't know. That was a weird build up. They did the same thing, didn't they? Wait, how did they do that? That was so weird. Wait, that was so weird. How did they do that? They have 3 waves up on each other and it's only 2 minutes in. Did they have the... There's no way. Did they... They pulled the wave from mid? Is that possible? That's crazy. I'm not sure. You guys will have to check the replay. I'll check it too, but I won't be able to tell you in this video what exactly happened. But What I don't understand, both teams decided to pull the wave, or is it just a double wave that spawned? Who knows? Honestly, I can't really tell. But overall, not much else going on here in the lanes. Looks like, yeah, bottom lane is really the place to be for these fights. FY kind of looking to get a good skewer out here onto Febby. Pushes him into tower range, but nothing really else to follow up on it. Tower already focusing on the minion wave that is present at the tower. Yeah. Um, Oddly enough, it's going to be the safe lanes that are really executing on aggression. More so as Xnova actually getting really low. The Astral Spirit going to put Pilot down in range for an auto. The Magic Missile makes sure he gets out safely. But yeah, I think the safe lanes have more pressure here, which is a pretty stark contrast from what we've been seeing lately. Looks like it feels like it's always been the off laners trying to put that pressure in. Yeah, let's take a look here. Moon obviously going to be at a slight disadvantage here. The Pugna going to be really more proficient in gaining last hits and putting early game pressure on the Moon. So XM should have the advantage here early, but once he does start to get those swashbuckles and is able to put out that damage, we might see a different lane. It'll depend on how fast Moon can get his items. But yeah, like I said, it's really odd seeing the safe lanes having more kill pressure. It's just been that it's just kind of had the meta shift from, you know, those really late game plans where you're going for that, you know, you're getting a couple supports to crunch up your early game, and then you want your safe lane carry to just get as much gold as he can and secure that, and really just run away with that lead that he gets. Um, but yeah, it's shifted. Looks like the safe lanes are going to put a lot more pressure on and try to be a lot more dominant. Which I think is LGD's approach. I haven't seen amongst other teams, but that could also be the case amongst other teams. As Chalice actually getting picked up by Aji. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a really hard lane to exist in. Should have been able to spot that, but hopefully we will. As KP actually... Oh, what the heck? Moon getting killed by XM actually mid lane too. The pressure is pretty incredible from LGD.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, we could have expected it. KP actually getting blinked on with the Stifling Dagger. Does look like he tried to get the Split Earth landed, but Xnova's here for the rotation kill. Roaming out to pick up that kill on the KP. Claimed by FY, but the goal is split amongst LGD regardless, so... Advantage to LGD for that play. Looks like the bounty runes are spawning, and XM is actually able to cut off Febby. Mineski will be able to pick up those opposite side bounty runes though. So... Nothing gained, nothing lost there for either team, other than the death of our friend. Febby. Or, not Febby. KP. I gotta remember these names. It's so hard. I'm so bad with names. But yeah, like I said, a little more early game pressure. Obviously, we do still have the same heroes, so they do have that option to go for late game farm. But we're seeing them used in a way that gives them a lot more opportunity to be aggressive, you know? With what their abilities are. Actually, the Split Earth going down on the Xnova here as the Diabolic kind of burns away his health. Moon picking it up with the last hit of the Swashbuckle. A good turnaround kill from Mineski, kind of putting things in a more even state. On a more level playing field. I think both teams are pretty closer to even now. If we take a look at the net worth charts, yep, safe lane's pretty reasonable, same gold. Around the same net worth. Mid lane, obviously Moon's going to be a little bit behind with that death, but still doing alright for himself. FY actually having a surprising amount of farm. Looks like as KP has like claimed to those stacks. I didn't mention it earlier, but the reason KP got caught over there was because he was trying to take the stacks made by FY, which is actually a good plan. Looks like Mineski thought this out a little more and opted for that offlane Viper just so that they could try to claim on those stacked cams. This seemed to be a premeditated decision. So yeah, really cool execution by Mineski here. A lot more of an interesting approach to LGD's team comp than last game. We'll see if they can keep it up. Obviously, KP got punished for that one, but he still also did get a good amount of gold. He's still pretty far down there though. Not looking too great. He's behind on Chalice, who did get killed as well. Relatively easy too, and he should be getting pressured. Yeah, Chalice really... I want to see what Chalice is doing here, because it looks like he's just walking up with Janata, getting a crit for gold, and then leaving. Maybe that isn't the case. He could also just be sticking around for XP. Also possible. Doesn't want to use his invis for fear of getting all in when he reveals himself without invis. So, yep. But yep, Ajit's really just gonna throw adaptive strikes at him as much as he can. Try to weaken him enough so that one round of burst will do enough damage to kill him. Next, I'm actually putting the Decrepify Life Drain combo onto Moon. Puts him at a pretty low life total. Looks like his goal really is to just push him out of wave so he can claim that tower though. So, but we do see X Nova coupled together with FY. Looks like they are pretty content being near each other, as XM actually getting pincered here by both Pylai and Febby. See if the Astral Spirit doesn't actually have Echo Stomp yet, so he doesn't have any CC to lock that down. Unfortunately, if he had channeled Rolling Thunder, they might have been able to catch him. I think if he should have tried to swashbuckle. He had a lucky shot rock, but he just used it for the wave, so that's a shame. Word actually going out from Mineski, so they do know that the PA is there in the wave. The Rolling Thunder actually being committed onto XM. Looks like he's in a bit of trouble. The Echo Stop actually being leveled and Split Earth together. Should be able to put down XM. Yep, XM does manage to go down. Febby does get stunned by the Magic Missile, but that's just going to be another kill for Mineski as Moon picks up that one. Ame managing to pick up the return kill onto Febby, however, and does hit that crit onto Moon. So an even trade out on both sides, but the goal does go to Ame in that instance. So advantage LGD, I think, in that situation, and they do have the priority now to put some pressure on this tower. They don't have the Pugna yet, but he will be TPing in shortly to put the pressure on that tower. FY here in the bottom lane is Ame now looking to push together with his team. He had hit 6 pretty early on, so he does have the crit available to fight with, and it's very potent as long as he manages to get at least one crit. As the first tower going to be going down mid tier 1 for the side of LGD. Looks like Mineski perhaps trying to position to get some more pressure on the FY here, trying to prevent him from claim to any other stack camps or anything like that, as we should see teams positioning for the bounty runes. LGD looking to put their pressure on the top side of the map for those 2 bounty runes. Mineski looking to pressure that bottom side in response. Yeah, it looks like LGD kind of using their time a little more wisely in pressuring that tower. FY still at bottom tower should be, yeah, he's hiding in the trees to prevent himself from getting dove here. But he will be able to try and pick up these waves as safely as he can. Does have RP just in case he does get aggressed on, but we should see out the rotation now from the rest of Mineski's members. Let's play LGD are just opting to go for that kill. FY realizing he's in a bit of danger, looks at TP out, does so successfully, as the Diabolic unit does pick up that bottom tier 1. But LGD are up to pace and have traded off with that tier 1 top tower as a response. So, not much gold gained, but not much gold lost. Big problems here though is the rest of Mineski have found the stacks in the bottom side of the camp. LGD do need to try and defend this, but it's too late. Moon is already laid claim to it. Does manage to cast Rolling Thunder before that Magic Missile hits him, so he will be able to get out of there safely with all that gold in his pocket. Moon now at about 200 gold. Looks like he already bought a sign. The Viper Strike actually going out on Chalice, combined together with the damage from Ajit, secures that kill pretty cleanly. Does look like they're in a bit of trouble here, but I think LGD should be fine. Wasn't that bad. Chalice is, I think, the only other person on LGD's died other than XM and X Nova. Yeah. So I mean, your offlaner's already died once. It's still bad, but not worse. You know, if anything, you're at pretty even net worth now. So nothing much to worry about here for LGD. I think they're just, yep, they're leaving the PA to his own devices. Should have Empower on him if FY is in the area, but unfortunately he's not. So LGD is still just looking to stack these camps as much as they can. FY going to cash in on some of them for himself. Really just looking, I think, to get that blink target. Yep, 300 gold away from it, so he's going to be a little greedy for a little bit. As the Decrepify does go out onto Moon, does have that shield crash together with the Swashbuckle, so it's going to be able to put him outside of that area. Chalice, however, is in the area. The Rolling Thunder being channeled, almost activated in time, but Chalice realizes he's in a bit of danger, so he decides to back away from the situation. They do spot Chalice moving out into the top side of the jungle, so Pylai and KP should know that he's here. They should expect something to happen if Pile die, or if Chalice decides to stay here, he does get tracked. Janata's steal Pile die's gold. And this 2-2 are tracked just to keep vision on them. I say the bounty hunter pick I don't like, but I understand the reasoning behind it. It's an easy way to get golden experience in a lane that's gonna try and pressure you as much as you can. So like just being constantly invis all the time is a huge barrier to trying to kill you. Like bounty hunter can stay in permanent invis if he has just like a couple clarities, and that'll pretty much keep him safe. And the Janata will make up for the gold difference as much as he can. Chalice, you have to know where the ward is at this point, man. You're seeing yourself getting hit. You have to know the ward's like right on that ridge. So he might be able to deward that. Ping's going down on the top side of the jungle. They realize Ame's been there for a pretty long while now, and might be looking to pressure that once they push out that top wave. But pretty slow game. There's been a couple back and forth moments, but overall, I mean, since LGD are kind of in the driver's seat and they do have a Magnus, really all they have to do is get that PA as much farm as he can. Make sure Magnus does have that blink dagger, so he can fight with that RP. So LGD are quickly approaching that part in time where they do want to fight. Ame, yep, did go for the Yasha, is opting for a BKB early on instead of anything else. A scan going out of the bottom lane. They do know where Ajit is, so it looks like he's going to be the target of LGD's coordinated wrath. See how they execute this FY with the instant blink RP onto Ajit. Does manage to morph in strength before he gets stunned, but that's not going to be enough to let him escape. Unfortunately, the Swashbuckle out on his Chalice, who is in a bit of trouble. Does manage to get swapped out, but he's still in vision. Should die to the Viper Strike. XNova, unfortunately, using his life to do nothing but kill himself, as XM might also be in a spot of trouble here. The Swashbuckle gonna... Moon looking a little scared there. Kind of wary of the damage that's available there. Doesn't want to get bursted out by that PA, but could also potentially bait her into the rest of Mineski. But advantage there to Mineski for that trade. No, I can't say that. Their safe lane died, so yeah. I think LGD were the better off in that. They traded their supports for a hard carry and... what else? They pick up the kill on the highlight die? Or was that... no, they didn't. Skewer out on a Febby. Blink from Ame with the magic missile gonna kill him off. The Decrepify together with that Life Drain is gonna be able to put KP down pretty quickly, as Mineski really overextending for this bounty run. I guess they didn't expect everyone from LGD to be there. Kind of expected to do the same thing they've been doing the most of the game and trading off on bounty runs, but LGD were ready and waiting to use that as bait. So a great play by LGD, using lack of vision in that area to their advantage. And Mineski with that slight misstep. That again puts them at a disadvantage. Yeah, Ashi died there. He was doing pretty well, but unfortunately still falling behind. I opted for the Ghost Scepter first, instead of that Eagle Song. Looking to protect himself from that PA, yeah, probably should. I would say a Lincoln Sphere is probably in the works next, maybe. Or perhaps a Scotty for the HP. Just something to keep him alive, you know, like the E-Blade is good for damage. If you're going shotgun morph lane, that's all you need. But that guy, the PA is going BKB, and I don't know if anyone has spotted it out yet, but they should know that. No, he actually hasn't. No, he's left it in the stash, so he hasn't revealed to anyone what he's going to be building. So Mineski should have no idea. As the dust actually goes down on a Chalice, the Adaptive Strike going to put him down to about 50% HP together with a couple hits of Swashbuckle, but nothing else really going on. Decrepify, Sam does announce that he has a Dagon. So yeah, with Adolin, so pretty good power spike for him there. Should be able to get couple more kills for himself instead of just helping the team out now. A little less objective gaming, more kill gaming. Yeah, Mineski really feeling the pain from this bounty hunter pick. With the tracks going off so often, Chalice is really just getting as much information as he needs to spot them out. As the blink out actually from Ame into the rest of LGD, come out with a 2-man RP, cleans up 3 members of Mineski. The blink strike out on Aji, who was also tracked. See, this is like, Mineski are positioning to try and make like a stand somewhere, but the vision out from Chalice just makes it almost impossible to get out. So Ashi does morph into the PA, uses Blink Strike to escape. The swap is back out onto him. Does try to morph into strength. He's under the tier 3. This Blink Skewer out, combined with the Decrepify, but the waveform is there. He morphs back into PA, does have that HP still So a pretty clean escape from Aji. I like the way he used Morph, pretty creative way, using that Blink Strike to escape. But LGD, unfortunately not able to claim that kill. Probably would have been another tower, and maybe pressure on the racks if they did have that, but yeah. All in all, not much else going to be traded away there. PSG.LGD though, definitely in the lead here with that 4k net worth difference. FY might be in a spot of trouble as the Rod of Aegis on KP come out with the Viper Strike and another Toxin. Gonna be to put him in a bit of a dangerous situation, but KP is also in a bit of danger as the life drain puts him at about 25% HP. No kills traded there. Both teams managed to save their team members pretty safely. Saving people safely. That's really weird. But yeah, not much action elsewhere on the map. Ame now does also have his level 15 with that 25% cleave. Interesting, opting for that instead of the lifesteal. I guess it's just in order to have more consistent farm. Doesn't want to have FY around him all the time, obviously. Just gives him more faster clearing speed. So he really is looking for that late game PA build, whereas Aji really just has to go for that shotgun morphling. There's not much else he can do. Can't only get the gold he needs to go for that full right click build onto a PA since NKB is pretty necessary for that. But the passive break is there from Viper. It is going to be negated by the eventual BKB, which I think Ame is still hiding. Nope, he does have it now, so should be a little different here. As Chalice actually finally getting spotted out from Mineski, but Chalice does actually manage to put down a Sentry Ward and use, I think, his Quelling Blade. Yep, uses his Quelling Blade to instantly kill out that Sentry, so does die with the knowledge that he has safely removed that vision. Mission accomplished, soldier. Unfortunate that we had to take a casualty there, but it is what it is. Chalice has been, like, really, I mean, the only person that's dying in LGD, except for X-Nova, who's died because he's trying to save Chalice. But we'll forget about that. We'll pretend it's nothing. There's like some action here in the top lane. Ame kind of trying to find out where Febby is, maybe get a good kill on him, but the TP is successful from Febby. Does manage to get him away in time. Both safe lane carries, really just looking to get as much gold as they can on both sides. But yeah, Ame really, as expected, the cleave from both the Magnus and the level 15 talent just really accelerating that PA way ahead of schedule. Mineski smoking to push down into the bottom side to try and pick up the rune. Those look like they kind of expected some opposition there, but you saw LGD on the top side with Ame. You should probably expect them to be together since, I mean, you should have seen the BKB. Chalice does, however, get spotted by Moon. The dust is out onto him, but Pugna is there to punish, so bit of a awkward spot here. So all of Mineski kind of just getting pinched in here. BKB out from Ame does manage to blink strike onto Febby, pick up the kill with little to no resistance from Mineski. They're kind of in an awkward spot as Rolling Thunder is activated. Does manage to get a stun out on the X sound, shotgun combo. Gonna claim Chalice, but unfortunately not much else gonna happen for LGD. Actually, they managed to group up and kill X Nova and X. Ame really not being able to chase Pylai Die efficiently enough. Pylai Die being a pretty good distraction. As Mineski claimed 3 members of LGD, don't manage to pick up the carry, but they don't lose any carries in the process, so I think they did pretty well for themselves there. I mean, it's the net worth swings down another 1k in favor of Mineski, but all in all, not bad for them. It's pretty good for Mineski being able to turn around. Looks like LGD were trying to collapse onto the entire team, but when you're so, like, they spread their formation out so far apart that, like, there are opportunities for, like, each one of them to, like, individually get jumped on. So Mineski kind of identifying that they were surrounded in a ways and kind of just had to fight their way out. So the fight or flight response really working out there as LGD do smoke into that Roche pit, confident that there's no vision on it, should be able to gather there safely. As Mineski do also group up for a smoke. See what Aji does have that shotgun proc. The Sentry actually going to be able to spot out. Yep, Chalice, and immediately gets claimed. The strong thing about this Morphling pick, as KP does actually get Blink Striked and pretty almost immediately killed by Ame, who does have his BKB up again. The Blink Strike going to allow, actually the Spell Immune going to allow him to hit the Moon during his Rolling Thunder, putting him at almost quarter health. Oh my god, the Decrepified Dagon almost nailing him immediately, but Guardian Grease is going to be able to help him and save X Nova in a really awkward spot in the Roche pit, unfortunately trying to help his teammates, but in a very precarious spot for himself. Does get picked up by the enemy team as he does manage to buy back. Buyback also out from Viper, so KP is brought back as well. So 2 buybacks out each. The Vengeful Spirit together with the Viper. Really looking to position around this Roche pit. Mineski really quickly identifying that Roche was the objective that LGD were looking for at this time. Unfortunately not able to really make any other moves other than the quick pick on a Chalice. But eventually that's going to be not as beneficial, you know. I mean, Chalice is their vision right now, um, which is reasonable. But like constantly getting tracked still gives them vision, and like you know, getting a track off doesn't really require much commitment. So I'm I'm kind of questionable about Mineski really loitering in an area, kind of just looking for a pick, because I don't really think LGD are gonna just wait for you to like find a good opportunity to go in. You know, they're really just like in position to one save their carry if anything bad were to happen. I mean, like the man has has a Reaver for God's sakes. He's going satanic. He's going like all defensive items, just relying on crit and lifesteal and spell immunity to carry him through the rest of the game. Since Blink Strike gives him a bunch of attack speed now. Mineski actually looking for a cheeky play, going for that 4-man smoke up in the top side of the Radiant jungle, looking to get a flank onto someone as both teams are smoked. Gonna find Ame into the mix, does find him onto the shrine, but KP instantly gets Blink Striked on. Committed with the BKB is gonna prevent him from any retaliation. Gonna get picked up almost immediately. KP does not buy back as a 2-man RP on the 2 members of Mineski, Pylai Dainaji. Nothing else really gonna happen there as the shrine does get activated. Xnova actually putting, oh my god, Ashi goes down almost immediately. The crit out there from Ame pretty much taking his entire health pool away in like the span of like a second or two. Jesus.
Killing spree.
Jesus guacamole. Cheese and crackers? Is that the phrase? God damn. That was it. Yeah, I think Ame might have blink striked onto Aji while he was morphed into someone else, I think. Is morph on cooldown? Yep. So I think Aji was like had enough strength to survive a crit or two and be able to morph to strength safely, as Moon actually does get aggressed on the Echo Stomp, going to be able to put him in relative safety. The Swashbuckle, actually Moon trying to be a little more aggressive as LGD do lay claim to that Aegis. But yeah, what was I saying earlier? I think oof. Yeah, I think Ame just blink striked onto Aji when he morphed into another character who did not have as much health as he did with that strength morph. This Chalice actually tracking Febby. Should be able to pick up that kill. Febby just tried to get the response with the Diabolic and the Pulse Nova. Nova actually not here together with the carries, waiting for XM or Ame to get there. But XM getting there a little too late. Xnova unfortunately going to be the casualty there as Febby does pick up the return kill. Not too bad overall, but now a commanding 10k gold lead after the last couple of fights for LGD here. Not looking too good for Mineski as they're kind of repeating the same, I wouldn't say the same mistakes as last game, but they are losing in a similar fashion where the mid game is a very tricky situation. I mean, you're obviously behind. You're playing against a bounty hunter who's almost invis 24/7. Every time you try to catch him out, like his death either doesn't matter in team fights or like he's almost there. Like you haven't been able to take advantage of the fact that you're killing bounty hunter. And that's really the only person you've been killing. It doesn't really translate to anything else. The only objectives you claim were the tier 1s, which were from the initial like 10 minutes, I think 10-15 minutes. So I just think LGD had a faster game plan, and it looks like LGD are really great at executing early game strats and generating like a snowball-y type lead. But I think Mineski either had to respond with that in kind or find a good strategy around it. I think it was a good approach using the Viper offlane, but I feel like it wasn't fully fleshed out. Like the one time he tried to take advantage of the Nether Toxin, I think, no, he used it multiple times, but I think the one time I saw it, he got caught out and died. So he did like claim to, I think, 2 or 3 stacked small count, but I don't think that was worth it. Like the way Ame is farming right now, he doesn't even need stacks. It's just like those stacks were like extra credit, you know. And you're gonna steal a man's extra credit, that's cool, but he still got the whole assignment to get points on, you know. Take a look at the items here. The Vanguard out actually from FY, make him a little more tanky. Come out with those Guardian Greaves, making him a better. Actually, that's Moon. Moon has that. It was last game. I thought it was Pangolier, but yeah, just have that Vanguard combined together with the Guardian Greaves to make him a lot more tankier. Hopefully to resist the PA a little better. He is positioned over here by the shrine, kind of looking for a play here, as the sentry should be able to spot them out. Yeah, it does pick him up on that ward spot, so it should have the vision and the knowledge that they are possibly in that top, in the bottom dire shrine. The rest of Mineski kind of just positioning pretty conservatively, defending the mid tower. Don't really want to reveal much, as Pali Die unfortunately does get claimed as a casualty. Does get caught trying to get pushed out the bottom wave. Doesn't have buyback, but I mean his death is 20 seconds, so he'll come back in time. Chalice actually in an awkward position, does get tracked, should get spotted by this ward, should almost get claimed. Oh my gosh, dust out. Chalice actually does have a BKB, does manage to intro with the Rolling Thunder from Moon. Moon doesn't know these, doesn't have it activated, but doesn't realize that in time. Unfortunately, gets picked off almost immediately. I say immediately a lot. He gets picked off fast. He died. He died. He gets killed. Murdered, destroyed. I don't want to say anything harsher than that, but he dies. Yeah. Manta from Ame, another defensive item, combined together with that Satanic and Basher. Does also have Aegis, so he can play pretty boldly, but there's a lot of burst on the side of Mineski, so you don't want to find yourself in an unfavorable position as those burst cooldowns are coming up off the rotation. But yeah, pretty disciplined from LGD to peel off after getting that push out onto the mid lane, getting that tier 3 tower. Does lock out, or does unlock the rune, or the shrines for the dire side, making them vulnerable, and LGD delay claim to the bottom dire shrine. Looks like they'll rotate, maybe smoke up. Probably, yep, the smoke is to rotate into the top side jungle, see if any members of Mineski are bold enough to move in. But Mineski probably know that LGD are in all likelihood going to lay claim to their shrine, but they haven't spotted him yet. KP thinking he's safe in this position, but everyone on LGD does know, and they're trying to collapse on it. They don't have the vision up on the top of the rev. FY managed to get a 2-man RP, cleans up 2 members of Mineski almost immediately. KP going to be another casualty, as LGD, they should be able to lock this out. They're talking together with the Viper Strike, does pick up Chalice. Yet again, the casualty as a sacrifice. Truly a man that is so selfless for his team. So selfless. I think he's just he's just dying. He's being greedy. Being that involved in a kill. I think he's just going for all the Janata hits he can. And I mean, he can play like that. They do have a 17k lead, so at this point we really should just be talking about what went wrong here more than what they can do to stop it. But I mean, if I wanted to see a good showing from Mineski here, the best way to come back was to have Ajit basically burst down Ame in time, or XM, but oof, it's really hard. Like, I don't think Elder Titan's good anymore. I think he's good for laning, but it's the execution is way too hard, especially now that these fights are happening so fast. Like, I just don't think it's like fast enough, you know? Viper's not fast enough, like especially against a PA. Pangolier is good enough, so is Morphling. I think those tiers are good picks. I don't think the other Titan pick is great anymore. I think it was not good in the situation specifically, but I don't think it's very good overall in the meta and how it's like shaped and changed from how it originally was. I just don't think it should be as popular of a pick as it probably is, I guess, to word it in a simpler way, I guess. I'm dumb, but yeah. Mineski really should have been able to. I really don't know what they wanted with this comp, because the Pangolier mid doesn't really win. It doesn't really win unless you set it up for it. Like, and it was a good attempt in the draft to try and hide it and mask it and use the Viper offlane as sort of like a flex pick at the end. But I mean, at that point, you should have just picked a regular offlaner, right? Like, Pangolier doesn't substitute for any damage, so I mean, I guess the Viper offlane to have more DPS overall is okay. See, I just don't understand how it comes together in the mid game once you eventually have to face a PA who does have farm, and you know, like you can't expect to not have to face
Killing
a
spree.
buffed out PA as KP does get claimed. Does get killed trying to pick up some jungle in a far away land. But yeah, like I said, I don't think you can expect to play against this comp and not have to deal with a PA in the late game, you know? Like I just don't think it's possible. Um, it's realistic, but we'll see. The execution has to be on point this time as LGD do smoke up into here. The blink out immediately from Moon, with Blink Strike onto Febby, claims him almost immediately as the buyback from both KP and Febby into the fight, but the Rolling Thunder not really going to be helping out too much. Does manage to disrupt the backline, but you really should be focusing on Ame here. We do need the lockdown available. They do have Swappo though to save him, so I can understand the desire for Moon to disrupt the backline. Unfortunately, I think we're well past that stage, and you kind of just need to focus as much of your energy into killing Ame as much as possible. Like, either you run Ame and you kind him out, which is hard to do against a PA, especially one who has an Orc and Malevolence and is going for a Bloodthorn. Oh, Ame actually using the blur to kind of spot out the rest of Mineski, moving in on the rotation on Nova. The Blink Strike kill actually going to claim both KP and Febby. Advantage to PSG.LGD there. Good play by Ame, being patient and getting the vision first, but the Blink Strike does manage to pick up those two members of Mineski. Unfortunately, but you know, it happens. Both of those members actually don't have buyback, so yeah, LGD can kind of just advance, have free reign, really not be threatened too much by the presence of the enemy team. The Orchid gonna try and silence Moon, but the Guardian Grizz are gonna purge it almost immediately as the buyback comes out from Pylai Dai. Yeah, it's pretty much over.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
GG Call is probably gonna come out soon as they take out Megas, but
Dire's top tower is gone.
I'm not sure what Mineski. I think Mineski wanted to get that Morphling in, and that necessitated like it having a lot more power and a lot more gold than I think it did have. I think the Bounty Hunter pick was worked well in this situation. Here comes the Blink Strike, by the way. Out on the Moon, I think. He's going to kill almost immediately. As Ashid actually does manage to come into the back line. Looks for XM, but XM does Decryptify and picks himself up and puts himself away. As Ashid with the BKB, unfortunately not going to be enough to silence out onto him, though, to try and cripple him long enough. As Moon does manage to get the Rolling Thunder out. Bash out onto the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't use his BKB to try and finish it off, as he does use the BKB to stop the Atos route. So the Stifling Dagger unfortunately doesn't crit to pick up KP. The rest of the Mineski members are up, but it is going to be the last of the racks claimed. If you want to fight Mineski, you got to do it now, and I better see a kill on Ame. Blink out from Moon almost immediately onto Chalice. Try and lock him down. The Atos, another toxic combo, but the BKB is there from Chalice. Make sure he gets away safely. Not much else can be said. Echo Stomp out from Pylai Die. Just put him down, but the Dagon burst combo, oh my gosh, it's like the Wild West out here. All I saw was a couple of zaps, and oh my god, people are dying, things are happening. Ashit comes in together with the Adaptive Strike and the E-Blade combo, but the RP is there to lock him down. He does manage to assassinate XM, the only successful assassination attempt. Two other members of Mineski do fall. Moon trying to do his best impression of a godlike Pangolier as the Ancient does explode due to the creeps pushing in, or the GG call actually, so Mineski realizing what happened there. I think a good showing, but LGD obviously being the better of the two teams here in this situation. Very, very good execution of the early game composition. I think the main clincher here was LGD's execution on their team fights. Well, on their team comps, rather. So, LGD really, it seemed like they were kind of lost at some moments in the draft, but they did find good answers to the picks in the draft, and they did have a well-structured draft, I think, overall. Like the way they thought things out. I think the Pugna pick was kind of just a filler, but Mineski's draft was pretty unpredictable, so I'd say it was good enough. Um, Overall, though, I think the key factor here in LGD's victory is the fact that they stifled that early game aggression from the Morphling in the safe lane by having that Bounty Hunter. Obviously, he did die sometimes, but like Mineski weren't willing to put in that gold investment so early on to try and put pressure onto the Bounty Hunter, especially when the kill like for the first 5, 6 levels, Bounty Hunter's gonna like pretty much have free reign with his invisibility. If he plays well enough, he'll be in a position to get the Janata to steal gold from you and not really be in enough danger to die most of the times, which is nice. I mean, it frees up FY to roam down along with X Nova. I think no, it was X Nova together with Chalice, right? I don't know, but frees up FY and X Nova to be in that lane together with Ame, put the pressure, kind of take the PA build and evolve it from just a simple like late game carry, kind of that gets pushed ahead of schedule by the Magnuson power into something that's just like, hey, we've got a carry. He's here. He's level 3. Blink Strike's a good ability. See ya. But yeah, I think LGD's execution of the early game was pretty evident in game one, but in game two really showed how Mineski aren't able to keep up with that speed. Not to say that the early game was the only thing. LG do have really insane team fighting execution. I think all of them are very skilled players, and that's really what pushed them over the edge today. The combination of those two, just both those really critical early game moments, like no, not it was critical late game moments and more of like really clean early game execution, I'd say. But we'll see how they do against teams that'll put more pressure on them, perhaps. But they're looking like a strong contender for the winners. Um, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be trying to post all the games from the Dream League Season 11 winners bracket as much as I can. Hopefully, I want to be able to, post all of this all in one go and just present it to the world as proof that I will, just as a statement that I want to be a caster and I want to show that I can do this. I guess. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the support. Feel free to like and comment. Maybe leave a subscribe down below if you love me. But I love you guys. I'll see you all around. Peace.